you are still on Business and Leisure, and for business movers for this episode, prepare to meet an indefatigable crusader against the evils of smuggling. This week, we would like you to meet the chairman of the Federation of Philippine Industries, Mr. Jesus Arranza.
Mr. Jesus Arranza, more fondly known as Jess to friends and colleagues, belongs to a large family.
I belong to a family of 7 siblings. My father is Chinese, my mother is Filipina. And I was born in Sorsogon. I'm a Bicolano. And I have 2 sisters and 4 brothers. One, the eldest, who passed away already, was a news correspondent of Philippine News Service from Sorsogon. The second one is a dentist who is now in the States. The third one was a salesman, a Pepsi Cola salesman. The fourth is a girl, lady, married. She's still okay around. The fifth is a doctor, cardiologist in the States. And then next is again a lady, and I'm the youngest. My mother is a disciplinarian. Sad to say, during our times, it was still corporal punishment with a stick. And even in the school, when I was in the elementary, I was enrolled in a Chinese school. We have Chinese, we have Filipino, and we have English.
Exhausted by the demands of learning 3 languages daily, he requested his father to be enrolled in a public school, the Sorsogon Provincial High School, where the young Jess Arranza became very active, ending up as the Corps Commander of the Philippine Preparatory Military Training. The family was of moderate means, and after high school, the young man was hired for his first job managing a full-service gas station of Phil Oil, where he stayed for 1 year. All of 16 years old at that time, he slept in the service station to keep an eagle eye on the station and amazed everyone with his abacus skills. But after 1 year, he was restless again and talked to his mother about going back to school. But his mother suggested that he work again.
Since I don't want to work, but we are not so rich that I can finance my studies, so I was able to get full scholarship, academic.
Perhaps he was indeed destined to be a leader, for in his 3rd year at the University of the East, he was elected as a parliamentarian. And on his 4th year, he was elected as Speaker of the Parliament.
My wife, Evelyn, who hails from San Fernando, La Union, belonged to a political clan. And we met because she was also elected as parliamentarian.
Before he even graduated from college, he was already hired by Baguio Oil. Though in his younger years, his dream was to become a pilot or to enter the Philippine Military Academy. There was also a time that he was a member of the Drum and Bugle Corps, and he took up voice lessons. But back then, he still held dual citizenship, and it wasn't until he became 21 that he could formally choose one or the other, Chinese or Filipino. So that was the end of his PMA dreams. As for his aspiration to be a pilot, his family couldn't afford the 35 peso per hour flying fee. And given that the total requirement was 35 hours, this choice was easily eliminated. Instead, the young Jess Arranza concentrated on his academic and other skills, and represented Sorsogon Provincial High School for the extemporaneous speech competition.
And the topic that I was able to draw, no? Because you have to draw topic when the one ahead of you will talk, was the reason for higher prices of commodities. That was my favorite subject, economics. So I got the gold medal that time.
He pursued economics and graduated as president of the Senior Council in 1965, besting all the other top 5 students in each college. He also earned a master's degree in public administration. One side of Jess Arranza that not too many know is his inclination to music, having been a soloist and guitarist in a combo many moons ago.
There is a twist of life. When there was a competition, regional competition of combo, we ranked second. So what if we got the first place? The first place has a prize of a contract with Clover Cheddar. So I said, if we won first prize, probably I should have not been able to meet my wife. And I'm in the show business.
After working with Baguio Oil, he married his college sweetheart, Evelyn.
We have 4 children. We have 2 boys and 2 girls.
From his 4 children, the couple has 9 grandchildren. The eldest, a girl, works as a paralegal at the appeals court in Washington.
My second is a boy, and he finished marketing. He had insurance license, but he opted to go to PAL and enrolled in the through competition, through exam. He was taken out of 1,500. He was taken as one of the 15 to be given free flying studies, flying, and he was the top of the flying students. And working with PAL, it's happened that he joined the strike at the time because he was a new officer. So he got out of PAL, and he joined Cebu Pacific, and later on he ventured to take examination with Eva Air, and he is now a captain, full-page captain of Eva Air.
So Jess Arranza's dream of being a pilot was fulfilled by his eldest son.
My third is a boy, again. He is a doctor by profession. He's now practicing in the States with his wife, who is also a doctor, classmate. And my youngest is an interior designer licensed girl married to a doctor, a surgeon, classmate niya.
At Baguio Oil, he handled marketing, advertising, and promotions.
To my credit is the order ni Mrs. Baguio Oil. I coined that. In 1980, when Mr. Cuanco was handling this bank and they bought Minola cooking oil. Hindi kilala Minola nun. He invited me to join him. Modest aside, I made Minola #1 in the market. Against my old brand. Brands of cooking oil have been created then. Cook Best, I created that. Golden Fry, I created that. Manila Oil, I created that.
Thus had bloomed Jess Arranza's love affair with coconut oil.
I've been officer of the Coconut Oil Refiners Association until now. And I am also a director of the United Coconut Associations of the Philippines. Some people may say that I am an institution in the coconut industry. I've been there for 40-something years. That's why when I resigned from this company, because I had made commitment to Mr. Cuanco that if he's no longer around, I will not stay. During the time of Gloria, she asked me, said, "Hey Jess, I know you were handling oil mills before. They lost 1.5 billion. Why did you take over?" So I said, if you wish, I can. So I have to resign Coco Bank, and I joined as president CEO of the oil company, the oil mills. That we were able to recover little by little that loss. 1 year we made 200 million, 300 million, 100 million. Until in 2010, I was losing weight. About September. So I had all ultrasounds and they could not find anything. Until I got scared because I became so thin, payat, that this ring dropped. Yeah. So I said something is wrong. So I asked a gastroenterologist to check. He said, okay, we found something. Your duodenal gland is tightened. We expanded it. So I called up my son. I said, son, they discovered it already. So my son said, yeah, he opened it. But is he sure that there is nothing outside pushing it? Because in the gastro, you get inside. So I asked the doctor. My son said that I should have a scan. So the doctor said, Dr. Porres of Makati said, no need. I said, my son told me. So I had the scan, and they found out that I have cancer, lymphoma. Good thing it's stage 2. I got cured, hopefully.
His own son, a medical doctor, made sure that the doctors made a more thorough study of his father. And to his credit, the local doctors made a successful cycle of treatment without any operation.
Sabi ko every time, but they don't want. So, but finally, the office of the president said, okay, I can retire, but they appointed me again as director of UCP.
As one of the founders of the Federation of Philippine Industries, Jess Arranza fought tooth and nail to at least lessen the perennial problem of smuggling in the country.
Paper trade. And I have recommended all those things to Gloria, to the present dispensation, to customs. Some they adopted, some they don't. But I can see now that the new commissioner is quite serious in his job. But again, there are still scalawags in the system.
And together with his advocacies against smuggling, Jess Arranza continues to fight against other evils in our society.
If you recall, I was the one who identified the rice smuggler in the Senate, risking my life. I made expose of some tobacco smuggling and palm oil and so on and so forth.
He still rages against smuggling and is also concentrating on standards of consumer products. He serves as a consultant for several companies, among them the Philippine Electric Market Corporation. He is also very vocal about creating a separate government agency that will oversee trade and industry.
There is always a conflict of interest between trade and industry. Trade will always go for a lower tariff, but industry will always go for a higher tariff so that it can be protected.
And this was how the FBI was created. During Cory Aquino's tenure, she issued an order lowering tariffs across the board.
That is illegal. Even if Congress is in recess. Selective, yes. So when we were about all these people from PCCI like Donald D and so on, they are coming to our group because we are fighting for it. And in their case, they cannot come up with a unified stand or common stand because most of them are retailers, the malls. So they want a lower tariff. So they come to us. We were working together until such time that the president withdrew the order. So we also withdrew our case file with the Supreme Court.
Jess Arranza is also an advocate of the Buy Filipino movement and protects the rights of homeowners associations such that he fathered the law of homeowners. Today, he is still active in business, but with a difference.
I have a group. We call them Ultimate Solvers with some lawyers, a financeman, and we offer help under a system of no cure, no pay. If we study your plan about your consumption, etc., we will only get part of the savings. Therefore, if we are not able to do it, we don't charge you anything.
This group reviews electric consumption and helps companies realize savings in all aspects of their business. In his radio program, Dito sa Bayaniwan, he continues with his advocacies.
For instance, I asked COA to conduct an audit of the Special Education Fund. When you pay real estate, a certain amount what you paid, as a equal amount is paid also as Special Education Fund. That's a law since 1969. So how much have been collected? Billions, trillions, and yet nobody is accounting for that.
And how does Jess Arranza want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as a person who cares for the local industry, who cares for our country and who cares for people, the Filipinos.
At home, he looks forward to the company of his wife and grandchildren, and that, he says, makes his day complete. He still beats stress with singing.
This, my darling, I've been told. I don't care just what I say. Oh, Diana, ain't you see? You and I will be as sweet as the in the tree. So, please stay with me, Diana.
Or some sentimental music from Nat King Cole.
Love is a many splendor.
And he also dabbles in some rock and roll.
You shake my nerves and you work on my brain. Boom, boom, boom. Too much love, drive the mind insane. Dun, 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 dun.
On a more serious note, this is his advice to young leaders.
Don't move too fast. Think before you go in. Prepare before you go into fight. Like Pacquiao. Prepare.